How many boardrooms do you think there are in the U.S. currently? And I'm talking about that Brazilian rosewood conference table having statement making boardroom. You know, the chairman's wife was on the interior design committee and spent $3,000 per chair boardroom. The don't bring your everything bagel in here because food is not allowed in the boardroom. That type of boardroom. How many do you think? Well, 3 years ago, there was a study that noted there were 7 million of them in the United States, and that was 3 years ago. So you can imagine that number is larger today. And friends, we're not here to talk about the no bagels allowed boardroom, but we're talking about a space that outnumbers boardrooms at least 10 to 1. So today we're going to discuss the over 70 million huddle spaces in the US and how you are going to outfit them. So our man Clay is going to be back with us on May 19th, for those of you wondering when we get to hear Clay's voice again. And that's our next AV Meetup coffee break. But with me today, I've got Marcia Conley and Melissa Dillman, two of our market development managers here at Starin. Welcome, Marcia and Melissa.
Thanks, Neil. Good to be back.
Hey, Neil. Good to see you again.
Good to have you here.
Well, now that we got all that out of the way and we know where Clay's at, I have a question for you and Marcia. If I say the words huddle space, what comes to mind? I mean, what exactly is a huddle space?
Well, back in my day, a huddle space was where the team and I would gather. They'd all listen intently as I made the call for the game-winning play, and then the crowd would go wild, and oh man, happy days. Happy days indeed.
That's great, Neil, but I'm pretty sure those are not the huddle spaces we want to talk about today.
Yeah, you're probably right.
In my opinion, defining what a huddle space is a challenge because it's something that is still evolving, a bit of a moving target, if you will. I think we need to step back and think about this from a user's point of view. We need to ask questions like, who needs huddle spaces? Where and when are they needed? What kind of tech goes into them? You get the picture.
I do. Another great question is, why do you suppose we need these types of rooms? I mean, after all, we've had conference rooms of various sizes for decades. What's the need for change?
Well, this got complicated quickly, didn't it? But luckily, our brainiac friend Clay has already given this topic a great deal of thought, and he happened to leave behind a lot of notes on materials on the subject before he left town. I was just about to go through it. Do you guys want to join me?
Definitely.
Let's do it.
So while I'm gathering together the mad scientist's note, I think we should start to think about the why. Specifically, why do we suddenly need these kinds of spaces and why there's so many of them? What's driving the market? I have one theory. It's the cost of real estate continues to increase, and that means it's more important than ever to make the most of every square foot your facility has to offer.
Not only that, Neil, but let's not forget that the very way we work has changed over the past few decades. I was reading the other day that the International Data Corporation, or IDC for short, did a study which projected that by 2020, mobile workers will account for nearly 3/4 of the total U.S. workforce.
Yeah, that's a great point, Marcia. One of my favorite quotes is, work is the thing I do, not a place I go. I mean, look at us. We're part of that statistic. None of us go to a communal workplace every day.
And why should we?
Why should we? With the growth of technology, we can now meet, collaborate, and work together from all over the globe. Yet it feels like we're in the same space.
Marcia and I both wanted to ask, why should we, damn it? So if I put all of these things together, what we're seeing is a shift away from corporate floor plans that are jam-packed with individual offices, cubicles, and giant conference rooms, and movement towards numerous, agile, technologically sophisticated meeting spaces that can accommodate small to medium-sized groups on a moment's notice.
You know, I completely agree, Neil. Plus, companies are even considering the perks that they can include in their facilities as part of an appeal to acquire some of the best talent available. Today's employees don't want to be tied to a desk and a chair in a cubicle or a closet that's also known as an office. So companies are finding better uses for those spaces.
And just like that, I think we have nicely summarized the whole huddle space movement. It's about small groups of people gathering together to brainstorm, solve problems, collaborate on projects, or even just socialize. And only when they need to, not because they are required to be there.
Okay, so I've got all of Clay's files queued up, and it looks like he's come up with huddle spaces of all shapes, sizes, and purposes. And in a moment of truth here, he originally told me that he had just 3 of these, but I'm seeing a few more than 3. Are you guys ready to dive in and reimagine what the huddle space is?
Definitely.
Let's bring it on.
All right, so first we have the smallest of spaces, which Clay dubbed the Huddle Desk and the Huddle Cove. They even sound kind of cute. So the spaces are designed for small groups of 2 to 4 people.
I see where Clay's going with this one. The idea of the Huddle Desk and Huddle Cove is that they are compact spaces within close proximity to traditional offices, desks, and maybe even cubicle farms. They can be in private rooms or out in the open in a large public space. And basically, they would be scattered throughout a facility so small groups could get together for either planned or impromptu meetings for short periods of time. I mean, talk about convenient. It's the kind of place I'd like to post up at when I head into the office for a day of meetings.
Oh yeah, no kidding. You do have to be careful to leave enough of a boundary space between and around those spaces to avoid disrupting others, though. But the other thing is you're going to want to add some conferencing and technology for connecting remote participants when necessary.
Agreed. So Huddle Desks and Huddle Coves. I like it. Let's see what Clay has next.
Next, let's consider a slightly larger group of 5 to 8 people who want to connect.
In this case, it looks like Clay has envisioned a somewhat larger space specifically designed for information sharing. And this is what I think most people picture when they think of a huddle space.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Clay also describes these as co-create spaces.
Co-create spaces. Now that's a term I haven't really heard before. Can you tell us more about it, Neil?
Yeah, so to co-create is to generate new ideas and content amongst groups. And the activity might range in scale from informality from a quick problem-solving exercise at an interactive display or a whiteboard to a multi-day retreat with a full agenda. So it's a variety of digital and physical tools that assist people in sharing and generating ideas. Active engagement, conversation, content sharing, and creation are the key behaviors in co-create.
Because of that added space requirement, I bet these spaces will tend to be more architecturally bound. More technology is going to be required to keep communication flowing too. I can definitely see the need for a wireless presentation device like Barco ClickShare.
That's a good point. And maybe that new CS700 conferencing system that Revo Labs has coming out this summer too. What's next, Neil?
That would be ideal. Our third space has to accommodate even more people. So let's say 8 to 12. Clay calls this the think tank workshop where show and tell activity happens.
Yeah, Clay further explains that a show and tell type meeting is a planned gathering at which information is shared among teams, with clients and colleagues, or maybe more broadly to the organization. The key focus is always the presenter or information being presented. These gatherings range from informal status updates and project reviews to regimented and rehearsed speeches. The level of audience participation varies accordingly.
So in a space of this size with a group this large, conferencing and collaboration technology will no longer be optional. It'll be necessary. It'll be extremely important that everyone be able to see and hear each other easily, especially when you connect with guests from a remote location. And of course, you'll need quick and easy access to tools for content creation and sharing.
Oh, totally. All great points. Clay also points out that the furniture should be easy to move, meaning you can rearrange it in multiple ways to best suit the needs of the group having the huddle.
Whoa, sorry to interrupt you there, Neil, but I just peeked ahead, and I want to get to this next huddle space that Clay calls a forum. It's for 12 or more people, and it looks really neat.
Oh yeah, this is where we divide and conquer.
Clay explains that, divide and conquer happens when a team with a common goal finds it valuable to work on individual components of a project while maintaining close proximity to one another. Working in parallel helps to resolve issues quickly and enables spontaneous collaboration as the need arises. So developments and content are shared among the group as the goals reached.
That's right. So in other words, it's a space designed to support the presentation of content. It'll need to be architecturally enclosed, and it must include good lines of sight for everybody in the audience, excellent sound and lighting, and the capacity to engage remote participants via video conferencing technologies.
Yeah, I can already picture Barco's new CSE 800 and Vivitech's new Novo Touch interactive flat panels in a space just like this.
They would be ideal. And once again, it would be beneficial to have movable furniture and the technologies along with it so that you can rearrange the room to accomplish any type of meeting you wish.
Well, that seems just about to wrap everything up for every type of meeting space we might need.
Well, not every type of meeting space, Melissa. There's one more, and it's a great one. We call it Mission Control. The space acts as the vibrant heart of the landscape where people can intuitively take the pulse of the organization. So these spaces are open, welcoming public spaces situated at major intersections in the building and the more highly trafficked areas. They support a diverse range of experience and populations.
So in this space, you could mix and mingle, and it would allow multiple work activities simultaneously, along with amenities to keep the gang going.
That's right, and you're going to find me next to the espresso machine, which is very important in each space. But it can also be a large interactive space comprised of a central display group and multiple interactive subgroups, and that's typically defined by the 21st century classroom or the modern learning lab.
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record here, but of course wireless collaboration that incorporates everyone's personal devices will be a must for this kind of space.
You're right. Wireless collaboration really is taking over, isn't it?
Yep, it is. And that's a perfect segue for an important announcement I'd like to make. You heard us mention wireless sharing and collaboration only a couple thousand times in today's coffee break. And as you know, Barco's new CSE 800 and Vivitech's new Novo Touch interactive flat panels are going to start shipping in just a few weeks. So be sure to contact your Starin business development team today to find out more and to place pre-orders so that you can be one of the first to use these market-leading technologies in your huddle spaces and your conference rooms.
That sounds great, Neil. So are you ready to give away $50?
I am always ready, and people, don't you fret, because Rob Fret from Iowa, I'm giving you a $50 gift card for joining us again at an AV Meetup Coffee Break. Congratulations, Rob Fret.
Yeah, congratulations, Rob. And thank you to all of our attendees for giving us 20 minutes today to learn more about Huddle Spaces. Please remember to go to our Synergy Center website to get all kinds of resource materials to help you with whatever kinds of projects you might be working on. And check back regularly, as we're constantly adding to our library of videos, white papers, and timely articles on all things AV.
Hey, please join us again, as I said, on Friday, May 19th for our next AV Meetup Coffee Break. And please remember, you can go to our website and watch all of our AV Meetup sessions on demand. For more information, to set up a demo, or to dive deeper into any of our products with a personalized online workshop, please contact your Starin Business Development Manager directly, or you can always email us here at myteam@starin.biz. So everybody, our time is up. We did this in 13 minutes, so you've got 7 extra minutes in case you budgeted the full 20. But we do promise to address your questions and interests directly, and it might even be Clay or Marcia or Melissa who calls or emails you with your answer. So we're going to see you again on Friday, May 19th for our next AV Meetup Coffee Break. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. So long.